Hey guys, if you're new to my channel, my name's Corey. I'm currently a corrections officer in Arizona. I have recently put in my resignation and I am pursuing becoming a reseller online. And this channel is about being a corrections officer and what it's like to be in that field, as well as putting in my resignation, quitting that job after 9 years. And I'm pursuing becoming a reseller online, which is basically you just buy stuff for cheap and see if you can flip it and make some profit. So my channel is going to be a little bit of a mix of both. This video in particular is going to be about the corrections officer side of it. I've put out a few videos on my resales, so if you want to check those out, just look at my channel and you'll see a few videos on what it's like to resell online and locally. I do need to put out a disclaimer that this video in particular is not for younger children, younger people. It's for a mature audience. I'm going to try not to swear so much or at all because I'm trying to get better at that. If you tune into this channel and you watch for the corrections stories or my insight, I'm going to try to keep it as raw as possible. I can't use names, certain locations and dates, but I will try to be as open and as clear as I can about my personal experience and my opinions about what it's like being a corrections officer in prison. Every prison is ran differently. Every corrections officer experience is different. Everybody is different. So I just don't want anybody to take what I say as, oh, this happens to every single person and this is how all prisons are. I'm specifically talking about the prison that I currently work for, that I have put in my resignation after 9 years in my experiences with my prison. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is I'm going to skip the academy. The academy is 7 weeks long. I have some stories about that, but I figured I'd just get right into what it's like the first week of being a corrections officer in prison. First time you walk through the gates, basically. Now, the academy, it actually does an okay job per paper describing what it's going to be like going into prison. I think that they do as best that they can. They're actually extremely professional at the academy. I really don't have anything bad to say about the academy. So on paper and in the classroom and during exercises, they do a pretty good job at trying to prepare you of what it's going to be like going into the prison for the first time. But in reality, what really happens when you step in the gate is not what you read on paper. It's not what you did in a test. It's not some simulation. It's a whole lot different, and it's a whole nother world. Let's just jump right into the first week as me personally as a corrections officer. I don't care who you are. I don't know who's all watching this. I don't care who you are. You're gonna be a little bit intimidated at first because you see stuff on TV. As soon as you think of prison and inmates, all they're doing is killing each other, raping each other, doing drugs, hurting all the officers. And that's true that does happen, but it's not like every single shift I go to that is exactly what's happening. So you think about that on your first week, like, okay, I'm going to go in here and I need to be like eyes open, which is where the term fish comes from. Your eyes are open and you're looking around, you look like a fish. They'll call you a fish, the inmates and even other officers, instead of rookie, you're just a fish. But anyways, so when you go in, your eyes are open, you're on guard, you feel like I'm about to get raped or somebody's going to stab me or something. I got to be looking out for every little thing. Really, you should be, but you get a little complacent through the time. First week in prison, I'm getting a little off subject. The first thing, here's my first experience in prison. This is what happened on day one, basically. Now, when I first started, you're supposed to follow around a senior officer and they're supposed to show you the ropes. Prison systems, especially out here in Arizona, are so short-staffed. You're lucky if you have anybody showing you where the building is that you're supposed to go to or what you're supposed to do. You'll be lucky if anybody shows you the ropes. I show up, I check in, they welcome me. The first thing that happens actually is a sergeant, which is one step above me as a corrections officer, pulls me to the side, puts me in a room, and says, I need to tell you basically everything that you heard and learned in the academy, take it with a grain of salt, because the way that we really do things down here is a lot different. Now, this is day 1, hour 1, okay? So I'm thinking, so I'm supposed to just throw everything away that I just learned? I don't know, but I'll listen to you. You're my supervisor. Now what he said is just true. I don't care what they teach you in the academy. These prison systems, at least down here where I'm at, you absolutely cannot run the prison the way that they teach you to, okay? So week 1, hour 1, this is what they tell me. So now I have to start thinking in this mindset. He tells me, you're going to go to the medical facility down there at the health unit. Meet up with Officer so-and-so. I say, okay. Walk out the doors, no inmates in sight, nobody in orange. I'm thinking, okay, so, they're still in, this is day shift, by the way, in the morning. They're still at home sleeping, I guess. So that's kind of weird. No inmates. I haven't seen inmates yet, okay? So I'm walking down the path, go to the health unit, knocking on the door, somebody lets me in. It's a senior staff officer. He's working the health unit area. Now he says, now I gotta go take off and go do something, so I don't know what to tell you. I guess just hang out here for a little bit. And I'm like, oh, all right, so he just leaves. So now I'm just sitting in some room, I don't even know if I had a radio at the time. Nobody told me I had to get one, okay? So I'm sitting in the health unit, and I'm just looking out the window, like, what's going on? And I just see it, like a flood of just orange, just inmates right in front of the window. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm surrounded, right? Are they supposed to be out? I don't even know what's going on. So the medical door was open. The officer left it open. So in walks what I think is a female inmate, okay? A Mexican lady, gentleman, long black hair, huge, like Gucci looking, sunglasses, just walks right in. I'm nervous, fish, looking around. And he sits down, crosses his legs, puts his hands up on his knees, and he's just looking at me. He's like, so, are you new here? And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know, am I supposed to talk to these guys? So I don't want to get too involved. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say. So I'm like looking to the side like, yeah, I'm new, And then it dawns on me, this is supposed to be a male facility. I'm looking at a female? Okay, we got Caitlyn Jenner here. Okay, now it dawns on me. All right, so this is the first inmate that I see. And now in walks his boyfriend, okay? He sits down next to him. Now it's me, Caitlyn Jenner, his boyfriend, in this little room, and this is my first inmate experience. Now he's like hugging on him. I think he even leaned in, kissed him on the neck a little bit, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't even know what to do. Now the officer that left me walks in, and he's like, hey, you can't be doing that, and splits him up, and they're like, sorry, CEO, and all this, and I'm just like, oh, and now the officer's looking at me like, hey, man, you can't be letting him do that, and I'm like, okay, I don't even know what to do, right? So now this officer says, hey, I got this here. Actually, you need to go up to this yard control area and talk to somebody else. They're going to just show you around the yard. Okay, again, now I got to go find this area. Anyways, so I walk out. Now, all the inmates are like out to rec, okay? So all the inmates are out to rec. And I'm walking surrounded as like a little bit like, nervous, I'm trying to keep my head up, looking around, letting them know that I ain't scared. And then I'm not scared. I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know what's going on. What am I supposed to do? This is crazy. So I'm walking in between hundreds of inmates, and some of them are, you could just feel the heat coming down. You're a brand new officer. They're just staring at you, trying to figure you out, which is intimidating, and these dudes are like big, yoked up dudes, some of them. A couple of them are like, hey, how you doing, CO? Or they're like, what's up, fresh badge? Fresh badge, you got your shiny little badge on. And what's up, new boots? What's up, fish? All that stuff like that. Whatever, I just let it slide. I don't care about that. But here's where I have a butt pucker moment. Okay, so I'm walking to this yard control area, and here comes this big yoked up dude, and he's like, he's just looking at me, and I'm thinking, okay, don't break eye contact. So I'm gonna look at him too, and I'm like walking at him like, what's up, man? And he just goes, and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. Boom, beeline it to the yard control. Dude's catcalling me. Big old monster of a guy. I'm thinking, I for sure, I'm getting raped at this prison. That's what's happening. I got the she, the transgender. Okay, excuse me, I don't want to offend anybody. I got the transgender, and then I got big old 290, 6'4" dude looking me up and down, licking his lips. Okay, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Pepper spray me at the academy, beat me up, but I don't want to have my butthole touched or something. So, anyways, I make it up to yard control. I don't say nothing to nobody. I'm just like trying to take all this in. So that's like the first day. I started on graveyard shift. So things happen a little bit different on graveyards. For a couple of days during the day, I would walk around with some senior staff, and they were showing me around, but they said, hey, you're going to graveyard shift, which is, at that time, it was 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. So what we do here during the day doesn't really matter. So you're going to have to learn what to do on graveyard shift anyways in a couple of days. So fast forward a few days, they switched me over to my post, to my shift, which is graveyard shift, and stick me in a building. Okay, now these buildings are open runs, which means that I'm sitting in a control room, and where I was at the first night, there's like an Able run and a Baker run, and I believe it was 50 inmates, and then me. And in that run, there's a door that you go in, and then there's just bunk beds, just full of inmates. These are open runs. They basically just throw you to the wolves as a brand new officer, I would say. Very rarely do, at least in the prison that I am in, do you get trained on the job with senior staff and have people follow you around, show you the ropes. You sort of just pick up stuff as you go. So my first night on shift, I'm in the building. Mind you, these prisons are disgusting. I don't know. Those ones on TV, especially private prisons, everything looks like it's working. All the doors work, cameras are working. We don't have cameras where I'm at, where I started at all. So anything can happen at any time. Everything's just like clean, nice bathrooms. Everybody's professional and shining, and they do all that for the TV show. Prison is a dirty, grungy, like low down place for staff and inmate alike, for everybody. My control room is filthy. Nobody cleans it because nobody cares about the place. There's cockroaches. And here's the thing, it smells. Where I was at the Able and Baker run, I'm sitting literally 8 feet, 10 feet away from the bathrooms of those runs. They're right there because I'm supposed to watch them. And all night I'm hearing all this business, right? And this is my bubble. This is where I'm supposed to be all night, and it's just vented. So I'm getting all these smells, and I'm trying to like eat a sandwich. And they do it on purpose sometimes. I feel like I go to take a bite, I'm like, okay, all right, and then they're doing it on purpose just to mess with me. I'm brand new. So I'm sitting in this disgusting room. Inmates, you're trying to watch what's going on. You're expected to watch everything what's going on, and to know if anybody's doing anything they're not supposed to be doing. But really, I just think of this. So it's me, and there's like 100 dudes, right? And I can only keep up with so much. And it's not like these guys are dumb. I mean, some of them are dumb, some of them, but they know the system. They know when I'm coming. So I'm walking, everything's like good, everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. As soon as I leave, go back to doing whatever you're doing. It's sort of a joke. There's no staff. There's no staff. There's no staff to see exactly what's going on and to protect the inmate, protect ourselves all the time, and actually do what you're supposed to be doing. I don't care who you are. You just can't. You're too understaffed. You're outnumbered almost 200 to 1. On my shift, we would come in and there would be maybe 11 of us, and we would have a population of about 1,300 inmates that we have to watch over. Now, this is where I started. This was an open yard, sex offender yard. Okay, so level 3, which there's 5 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 being like, I've never even worked around 1s or 2s. Those are like your DUIs and just misdemeanor, just doing a quick little time. 3s, it depends on, you can work yourself down to a 3, but in that particular yard, I was around level 3 inmates, the middle guys, okay? Sex offenders, all sex offenders. Now, just because you're a sex offender, it doesn't mean that you like had sex with a minor. That's sort of or you're necessarily a child molester. That could be anything. It could be kidnapping. Just like you have heard, like peeing in public, you could get time for that. But anyways, my yard, level 3 sex offenders. So keep that in mind. Couple of the first nights in the first week, walking down the run, you're just surrounded by inmates. And when you get down this run, there is no exit. Okay, so at any moment, if these guys do want to get up, gang up on you, you're stuck. That's just it. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen, and I've seen it happen, okay? So it's a little nerve-wracking. And where I was at, it's kind of funny to think about. I'm nervous at night looking around, and these are just vents. I'm thinking, if I get too close to this vent, I'm gonna catch a spear in the neck or something like that. Doesn't happen. Can it happen? Yes. Anything that I talk about can happen. That's one thing you have to remember about being in prison. Anything can happen. Anything. I've seen so much crazy stuff through 9 years. Anything can happen. And I'm going to go into that later on in videos. I just want to give you a gist of like the first day, first week. Anything can happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can. Going down the runs, I'm expecting to see guys doing drugs, tatted up, like sharpening their shank on their bed and just watching for the CO, but I didn't see any of that. Not that it wasn't happening. But I'm walking down and this is what I see. I catch 2 guys like basically almost having intercourse in the bed, okay? And I just freak out, basically, not like, oh my God, get that out of there. No, I just like mentally freak out, turn around, call the supervisor, ask him what to do. We handle the situation. It's all said and done. But so far, I'm thinking there's a lot of booty bashing going on here at this prison. And that is now my main concern. Not dying, not getting, hurt. That's my concern. So it's just kind of weird how that's what I was worrying about at that first time. And now, speaking of booty, strip searches, okay? I'd like to say, I'm pretty sure my stuff, my privates, are the only men's privates I've seen up to this point. They had told us about doing strip searches in the academy, but I just wasn't mentally prepared, I guess. Because now they say, hey, we got like 40-something guys coming in, go on down to the strip shack. I'm thinking, okay, that sounds like, I don't know, a strip club. Maybe it's a nice burger joint. I don't know. But no, there ain't nothing nice about this place, okay? So I go down to the strip shack, ready. And here comes about 40-something inmates off the bus. And, this ain't nothing new to them. So I'm standing there getting my gloves on, looking at the other officers like, oh, okay, so I'm going to try to copy what they do. Oh, okay. Oh, there's genitals, there's the dude's penis. He's showing it, flopping it around, picking it up, dropping it down, do a little bit of a shake-in, turn around. And I don't even have to tell him what to do. He already knows. He's butt naked before I could even look at him, and then bending over and just spreading them butt cheeks so you can look inside of this cornhole with a flashlight, see if he's got anything in there. You know, this is what I'm doing on the first couple of nights, so that's fun. Nice little shocker, and it's just one after the other, just nuts, butts, balls, nuts, ball, you know, everything, and they're just going through the motion. And I mean, I've seen so much penis in like 15 minutes that I just didn't even want to see anymore. I didn't even want to look at mine. It's just too much. It's too much all at once. Now through the years, you just get used to it. I mean, it ain't nothing now. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably see some naked dude in the street and I'd forget, oh yeah, that's kind of weird. I just seen so many naked dudes in 9 years that it ain't nothing. All kinds of different sizes and shapes. Now, I'm thinking I can run into people that I know from the streets in prison, and this is so weird. Here I am with the badge. Here this guy is. I might have even been cool with him, and he's on the other side. And I'm supposed to, you know, hate him, or, you know, that some officers think like that, or I'm supposed to just look down on him, you know, because he got caught up in something stupid. Now, on that yard, if he's a sex offender, that's something else. But anyways. So now I got to watch out for people that might know me on a personal basis. Now, let's talk about maybe like a month and a half into the department. It didn't happen at my unit, but something happened at another unit that stuck with me for the rest of the 9 years probably. There was a female officer at another unit that got assaulted. Now, I knew that female officer from the academy. She was a couple of classes ahead of me. So I knew her. She was a very outstanding person, prior military, just very by the books. You know, I'm here to do my job and watch out. I mean, she was sort of a badass, basically. She got assaulted by, I think, about three. It was either 2 or 3 inmates, and she got hurt pretty bad. Her, a sergeant, and somebody else at the chow hall area. Now, she had only maybe less than 3 months in the department, and she got jumped, and she was in good shape, but she was little, you know. She got jumped by 3 big dudes. Not only were they physically, you know, beating her up, you know, with their fists, but they took her radio, which is like the walkie-talkie that we use, and smashed her in the face with it, and it had broke her eye socket. She never recovered from that, you know. She left the department after numerous surgeries in the hospital. They're so nice. They pay like 66% of your paycheck. So thanks, guys, you know. I think maybe they visited her in the hospital to say, oh man, that sucks. You know, we're here for you. 66% pay. She couldn't even come back. She didn't have time, like sick time built up or anything. And this is this woman's first experience, basically, because she was trying to guide some inmates into the chow hall, which is where you eat, and they didn't like that a female was telling them where to go. So they decided, I'm just going to beat this one up. Stuck with me forever. I mean, I knew her. She was so nice. And I mean, her life was essentially changed being in the prison for a couple of months. And that's what the prison does to you. You may not be physically assaulted every single day, but I feel that being in the prison system as a corrections officer, you are mentally assaulted almost every single day, almost every single minute. And that's what I don't feel that people take into consideration or probably even know about. And I know we got some strong, big, tough guy. I mean, we got some big, look, no, hold on, let me get a good angle. There we go. We got some big, tough, tough guy officers in there. And I'm not little myself. I'm 6 foot in shape, you know, I'm not little myself. But I don't care who you are out there. You may subconsciously be attacked, and it could affect you and set the course for your entire life. You don't even know it. And I think that it's happening to most of us, if not all of us. And that's something that I don't think that the public even knows about. Okay? So my first week, my first month, a little bit of a shocker. I just could tell that this is going to be a real big mental game from here on out. There's definitely physical sides of it, and I would love to talk about those stories if you guys are interested. I just don't want to overwhelm you. I have 9 years of experience. I just sort of want to give you a taste of what it's like going into the prison system from my experience as an officer, just my opinions, my views. Um, but I hope that this helps people understand that mentally, corrections officers are just attacked all the time. I mean, when's the last time you at your job that you walked in and you had to worry that I may get stabbed, I may get assaulted, I might get spit on, I may be sexually assaulted, I might have my eye socket broke? What do you worry about when you go to your job? And I'm not trying to like talk crap like, oh, nobody's got it as bad as corrections officers, but I'm just saying, what do you worry about when you go to your job? Are you worried that your office is going to run out of Kleenexes today, or maybe you don't hit your quota? Maybe the boss is going to come down on you a little hard because you're late. I personally have to worry about the safety of myself and my family and my peers around me at all times. These guys, they can get to know you so well. Don't think that they don't have access to the internet calling people. It's not that hard to look you up on Facebook or YouTube or whatever else and hunt you down. I understand that. I know that going into it, but it's really not that hard. And these are the things that I have to worry about on a constant basis. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. I touched up a lot on what it's like to be a corrections officer in like the first couple days, first month. I have plenty of stories that I'm going to go into in the future. I'll just pick out little snippets that stick with me. I would love to hear from any of you guys, questions, comments, anything from fellow corrections officers to just the general public. I'll answer as much as I possibly can. I have a lot of insight, as I said before. Just leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel so you're updated when I put out new videos. I'd love to know what you guys think. I can just ramble on all night and all day, but I would love to know what the public wants to know about what it's like being a CO in prison. I know that this was sort of a very dramatic video that I'm putting up on my channel. I do want you to know that I have put in my resignation after 9 years. I have to go to work for the next few days. But also on this channel, I am pursuing becoming a reseller online. So my videos are going to jump around. This one was more geared towards the corrections officer side, but I've quit to pursue becoming a reseller online, which is just buying stuff for cheap and reselling it online and making money. I'm going to go into that later. Okay, if you guys would like to know more about myself, what it's like being a corrections officer, follow the channel, hit subscribe, give a thumbs up, just because that's just going to help me. And most importantly, just leave a comment below of some questions or comments of what you think about this video. Anything that you guys would like to know, I'm going to try to be an open book. You can also follow me on Instagram at Create the World. That's CRE8 THEWORLD. Just follow me on Instagram. I'm putting up pictures of me being a reseller online and going to garage sales and thrift stores and trying to resell, because I'm really trying to just get out of this corrections officer field. And also I'm going to be putting up stuff about being a corrections officer and talking about some of that on there too. So yeah, just come check me out, guys. Leave a comment, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel so you can just keep up to date when I put out new videos. And I'll talk to you guys later. Everybody have a good day, night, or afternoon, and see you later.